All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you your daily horoscope for Friday, the 12th of March, 2021. We've got the moon in Pisces. We've got the sun in Pisces. We've got Venus in Pisces, right? The moon is our emotional needs. Venus represents that of which we want, love, and desire, the feelings, okay? Neptune, home in Pisces, representing the right brain, our dreams, our creativity, our imagination. Also rules the media, okay? It rules illusions, the house of mirrors. We don't always know what we're looking at. The sun represents the self, the body, and our ego, the way that we express ourselves, okay? As well, Pisces, like we talked about, it deals with endings, conclusions. It's the ending of a cycle before beginning a new one. Okay, so we're getting ready for this new moon, the Pisces new moon. But the moon has to make a conjunction first. Before it makes a conjunction with Venus, it's going to be squaring the nodes. Square the nodes, okay? So right now we have to come back to that place of stillness, quieting the mind, listening to source, listening to spirit, listening to our intuition, right? I love that it's a Nako medicine for the people song. The body talks and meditation helps, right? I love that song because it's so true. When we quiet and bring ourselves to that stillness, we're able to listen, right? We can listen to these planets. We can listen to what's aligning, coming into an alignment for us and what we're shedding away from us. So check it out here. And if you know your chart and where this is at, and overall, this is in the 12th house. Okay, again, completions and endings. Breaking a cycle, getting ready for a new chapter to start. And the nodes here in Sagittarius, releasing the old patterns, releasing the old philosophies, old ideas, old ways of thinking, okay? And discovering a new way of working, a new way of living, a new way of going about doing things, and really checking out and making sure that we have, it's like we have to look in the left and the right door. We have to look where in the areas that we know, but we also have to look in the shadows that we're unfamiliar with, right? It's a very important aspect as we're going into this. It's like doing shadow work, but not necessarily shadow work. It's just like, well, how does this painting look over here? What does it look like if this chair moves over here? What does it look like if I start learning about material that I don't necessarily want to look into? It's like if you're a religious person, right, and it's just like, let's say Christianity and Jesus and God and the light and all of this, doing a little bit of research about Satan, Lucifer, the devil, you know what I mean? Like if you start to research some of that stuff and it sounds taboo, it sounds scary, but it's like shining the light on some of that stuff and finding that there are three different characters. If you listen to me in the astrotheology, you'll know that Lucifer really means light bringer, light bearer. It's Latin and it refers to the planet Venus, morning star, evening star, Venus. Saturn is Satan. Satan, Saturn, it's the same thing. It's the light in the middle and the adversary at the end. The Saturn was the last visible planet, right? And the malefic, according to the ancients. So it's like, anyway, when we start to study some of these things that we might not necessarily want to look into, when we're only walking on this path in this way and this what have you, we're ignoring this. And we're only, if we're only regurgitating or believing what somebody else had told us down the path, my God, my pastors, when I was a kid, told me to never look into that information and never look into astrology. Oh, and every now and then I'll get somebody in the comments here that tells me how terrible astrology is, as if I'm actually doing something or saying something that's leading humanity down a dark path. Bananas. Anyway, so it's like looking into those parts that we might not necessarily want to. Looking into the other alternatives, looking into the aspect of self being wrong emotionally. And I bring myself to stillness. Where was I wrong? Where did I, as a co-creator of this, do something that wasn't necessarily right? Maybe it was right for the time. I did the right decision at the right time, but now that I've able to bring myself into stillness, able to quiet my mind and listen and look from a subjective point of view, then I'm able to see, okay, here's where I slipped up, or here's where I wouldn't do this same thing in the future, right? So the moon squaring the nodes is very, very powerful as we're leading into this new moon, new beginning, right? Because we have an opportunity to pivot, to change directions. Mars down there in Gemini, same thing. It's just like, I've looked in this direction, but maybe I need to look in this direction for the answer. Maybe I need to go back to where I started from and then start over again. But, take a left at Albuquerque instead of the right, like Bugs Bunny did. You know what I mean? So we're on this journey of self-discovery and letting go of that old past. So the moon plays a very important part here, and knowing where these line up in your, for me, South Node in Sagittarius is in my 4th house. And here we're in the 9th moving into the 10th, okay, in Gemini. It's 4th and 10th house, not the 9th. Anyway, so this is about, rediscovering a career for me, right? Changing jobs, perhaps, anyway, it doesn't matter. So wherever this lines up in your chart, kind of pay attention to how this is going on. Further, we're going to have the moon make a conjunction to Venus. All right, 10, 11 o'clock at night. The conjunction happens between those 2 hours, Eastern Standard Time on Friday. Okay, so it's toward the end of the night, and this is a beautiful connection. All right. Now, Venus enters Pisces every year and a half. The moon enters Pisces once a month. Okay. But Venus being exalted in Pisces. Okay. This is really beautiful that we're coming from the square and then we get to meet up with Venus. Okay, instead of meeting up with Venus, feeling first and then the square. So it's like we have this decision we need to make, making these hard decisions in our lives, figuring out what path we need to go down, figuring out what we need to release, what we need to let go of, and what we need to move forward in what direction. And then when we kind of do this, when we make those decisions, which decision making isn't always easy in the sign of Pisces, right? Across the way is Virgo. Across the way is Virgo, where it's very easy, cut and dry decision making. So when we're swimming through this void in Pisces, decision making isn't always necessarily the first thing that comes to mind as far as something that's easy or simple to do. Okay, so that's why when we're feeling the pull of the nodes, okay, what direction we should be going in, feeding which wolf, feeding what thoughts, feeding what energy, and then we get this beautiful conjunction. Happens once every year and a half in the sign of Pisces, okay, which is again limitless. So now our emotional needs line up with that of which we love, want, and desire in a place where there are no restrictions, okay? And so we have this freeing ability to love. And of course, Friday, Freya, this is about, Fridays are about Venus. Fridays are Venus days. Okay, so it's like we get our Friday night, which is full of love. And maybe we get to decide, I choose not to act this way anymore. I choose not to be bitter. I choose not to be stubborn. I choose not to be petty. I choose not to be annoyed by doing things that I have to do, right? By doing chores or by doing something or whatever it may be that identifies with you. So we have this kind of freeing feeling of saying, I feel I have an emotional need. I have a feeling that I want to live this way. I don't want to be, restricted by these feelings anymore. I don't want to be restricted by whatever it may be that we're feeling restricted by. And we have this sense of release. Kind of Uranus's job, right? Uranus is down there in Taurus, which is Venus's domain. Okay, so Uranus is helping out this conjunction that's happening on with the moon Venus. Uranus is saying, okay, we can release this. We're allowed to let go right now. And we're allowed to end things, whether that's, again, ending a way of thinking, ending a relationship, ending a career path, wanting to start a new career path, ending the silence between individuals. Again, that can be a huge part of this, something we talked about yesterday. It could be ending the silence and creating a new foundation of opening up to love, to forgiveness, to appreciation, allowing and accepting. This is just a lot of beauty going on right now with the moon conjunct Venus today. And again, especially after the nodes, after making that square to the nodes. And then lastly, for my friends out west, this will happen at 1 o'clock in the morning, or Eastern Standard Time. So it'll happen for you, 10 p.m. Powerful connection. Again, limitlessness. What do you need? What do you need to sustain? What do you want to fulfill your life? What are your dreams? What are your ambitions? I'm going to put out the new moon video separate. I know it's only a couple hours away, but we're gonna make that a separate video. It happens at 6 o'clock in the morning. So again, lining up with what is our emotional need? What is the creativity that we want to tap into? What is the dreams? What is the boundless, limitless dreams? What did I feel as a child that I felt my life could be like? What did I feel things could be like? And can I let go of the ideas that the world imprinted on me to be able to open up, to express, and to be myself, the loving, caring individual, free of worrying of judgment, right? Another Virgo kind of thing across the way, that parallel, right? Judgment, lack of judgment, definition, critical thinking, and then here it's just like, it's okay. It's okay. You did the best you could. You figured it out, Now, what do we want to be? Where do we want to go? It's cool energy, man. Cool energy, my friends. Have a happy Friday, and we'll talk to you very soon about this new moon happening on Saturday morning. All right, we'll see you then.